We ready?
Oh yeah, we up.
We ready.
Good morning, America.
Oh man, y'all missed it. Me and bros better throw some bows in this joint earlier.
Oh, that's how you were feeling? I didn't know that. I didn't know that, bro.
Oh, I feel like, what's that song? We some head busters. All I need was a nuck if you buck, bro. Would been knocked down the ground. And laid out in this track.
Bro,
I would have saw the behind the scenes for real.
Bro, that was bro, back in the day, that was the fight song. If you heard that joint come on in the club, it was like, yo, you better scatter.
Exactly.
Because people about to throw some blows.
Either you find the exit sign or just you find your homies.
Exit. Yeah, right. You better find your squad, find your tribe real quick.
Oh, man. I just think we talked about two things that we care about so much, was just religion and soccer. You know, so I just think that's what happened. But before, what were you talking about earlier? You said you wanted to.
Let's do the intro because we forgot it on, I think, the last episode. How deep thought we forgot the intro again. All right, but that's why we love our people, because no one even called us out on it
at all,
and I love y'all for that. So
they gonna call us out now.
Yeah, before we get started, Mo.
Right, let's get it. Good morning. Say now. Let's get it. 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Salah
and Mohamed Hassan,
and you're listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
As-Salaam, Alaikum, and happy Wednesday.
Hump day.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's having a beautiful day. A little cold today out here in Virginia.
It is freezing.
So make sure you zip it up and zip it tight.
Zippity doo.
Oh man.
We just finished up a conversation. Obviously, right now, what's really big in the media in the Muslim world is Mo Salah and a lot of people speaking out against the photo shoot they had with GQ. And Mohamed and I, we started talking about it last night. We saved this episode late because we wanted to talk about it as much as possible before we actually released the episode.
We weren't even going to do it.
Yeah, we weren't going to do it. Like, y'all know us, we typically won't do these
headliners or stuff that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, but we felt like it was open up to a bigger conversation, right? Yeah. About the double standards.
A lot of conversations actually opens up to, you know?
And I think we really just hit ahead on something at the end.
Yeah.
Like literally right before we
hopped on the mic.
Yeah, hit record.
Pause. That's what happens when you be chilling with the Philly ox.
Yeah. Pause. So shout out to my man Tone, man. Hope you're doing well, bro.
Shout out.
Hope you're doing well. We realized that we start off at very opposite ends of the spectrum, and what's important, the most important thing in a conversation like these is not that someone ends up being right. Mm-hmm. The most important thing is that we can find a middle ground and we can reconciliate regardless of our cultural differences, our religious differences, our differences in what we perceive as right or wrong or how we feel in the situation. It's important that at the end of the day, people can have this conversation, any conversation, and they're able to come to an agreeable middle ground where nobody leaves angry. Everybody feels as though they learned something, not just about situation, but about themselves and the person that they're talking to.
Good point.
Because even though we've known each other for 10 years, this conversation opened up something else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have insight to how I think even more, and vice versa. And there was one point we were talking about this, and Mo's right. Like, there was this tension. Like, we had this tension that we left off between last night and this morning. And even when we started the conversation again, it was like, nah. And you feel that tension. Like, Grant, now you guys know this is my best friend, and if I'm feeling that with him, I can only imagine how people are feeling with people that they aren't as good of friends with,
or don't even know.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Or people getting on the internet and just voicing their opinion, and now your whole day's messed up.
So you can see that, all that tension built up. You can go behind the keyboard and just you can say some stuff that you cannot take back. You feel me? But like Jabril said, one thing that we noticed was that I think Brother Shadid might have mentioned it yesterday on his Instagram post, was like, Muslim men can't talk about something without somebody feeling angry and be like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not a real believer. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with the conversation, but just keeping an open mind and open heart. You guys can get to that middle ground. And at the same time, the point is not for me to convince you or you to convince me. It's to understand where I'm coming from, right? To understand what you're talking about. I never thought about it that way. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean I have to agree with them, but it's just like, now I understand you more. You know what I mean? I understand the situation more.
Because I even think as men, we have this pride in what we believe and how we believe it. And I mean, I'll admit, right? Like, dang, I'm out here spilling my feelings. Like, I'll even admit, like, even when we got the conversation, I was like, nah, I got to prove to him my point. And I was like, I got to make sure he gets what I'm about to say. And it, like, the fact that I noticed that is good. And it made me think last night. I was like, damn, like, why am I so gung-ho on just trying to be right in the situation when, like, it turns the conversation from what the conversation should be about, which is equality among the sexes, and in situations like this, how we should go about it, rather than we believe this as men, we say this, and this is wrong, this is right. Like, it's not about us. And I would even argue that this situation with Mohamed Salah is less about us as an ummah. It's more about him as an individual and as a person, and it's also on a group basis, it's more about women. You know what I mean? No, and so for men, once again, we come in a situation and then we try and dominate it and give our opinions on something when really our opinion has it doesn't really matter. It matters. It only matters when we're in support of the people who feel as though they have been oppressed and they have been sidelined when it comes to their own personal rights.
No, I would definitely agree, especially because the thing is that we're making a lot of other comparisons, and I was doing it myself, you know, comparing apples with oranges, but we can't do that in a situation. All we can do is judge the situation and what happened, you know. But I think I'm also, you know, I was on, you know, as you can say, far right, but it was far left, but we were able to come into that middle ground. And what we understood was that this situation actually turned into a good thing at the end, right? In regards to the conversation that it opened up. So it's like, seems like people aren't holding themselves accountable. One, and two.
Well, let's explain.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like we started at the end and we're going backwards. But let's go to the beginning of what this is.
Explain it.
And then
got it. So,
say how we got where we're at.
So, Mohamed Salah, you know, an Egyptian football star.
Hold on, if they don't know who Mohamed Salah is, and you gotta say he's Egyptian, like, you need to get off this podcast. Like, you're already done, buddy.
And, you know, side note, if he was Manchester United Tottenham fan.
Oh yeah, we would have. I'd be like, yo, hey, somebody take this man.
So I knew him being Liverpool.
I'm like, boo.
Played a big part. And trust me, I love what I've been to Egypt. I see what Mo Salah has done for our people. But anyway, he did a photo shoot with I think it was a Brazilian model. Somebody, I just know another model for the GQ Middle East, and he took some photos with her. And it was funny when I was talking to somebody. Even in the picture where she's holding him, you can tell he's kind of uncomfortable. You know, if you just look at his face, you know what I mean? He's like, but we still don't know that.
Don't know.
But so going back to that, he did a photo shoot, and the whole Muslim world was outraged because, oh man, how could a woman like that hold on to him? He's a Muslim, he's married. And Jabril said something I didn't even notice. He's like, yo, his wife was probably at the photo shoot. You know, you were saying that. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. So when that happened, everybody was outraged, like, Mohamed Salah, how can you do this? You know. But the people that had, I guess you can say the best point was the Muslim women's, like saying, hey, look at the double standards here. You know, if that was a Muslim woman or somebody holding on to him, everybody would feel different. Did I explain that right?
Yeah. Everybody would feel like, and we've seen it. We've seen it when Muslim women do something. We'll talk about Halima, and when she so bravely took a picture in her bikini for Sports Illustrated.
Everything was covered.
Bro, I thought that was legit. I applauded that. That
was a new wave, bro.
Bro, and even when we look at sisters like Noor, these are the ones who are going on the front lines and taking these shots. Like Noor, she did an article in Playboy, right? And I think we talked about this a while back. No, I
don't think I think it was between us.
Nah, we talked about it. It was on like the early episodes because it had happened before. I think before we started the podcast. But
yeah, it did.
But it was one of those things like we found out about and we were doing research on it and we brought it up.
Okay.
People like they came at them heavy. But what we failed to realize is that they are opening up a door much wider than any of us have done for Muslim women coming behind them to be able to come in the mainstream media line and be able to openly dress up in modest wear and it be something simple, because we don't applaud the women who aren't Muslim who back modest fashion, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to be able to look at what these women are doing and say, man, like they're doing something right on a broader scale. It's not just about being Muslim. It's like they're doing something on a broader scale for women in general.
Exactly, because you now, in regards going back to the burkini, there's women that wear it that aren't even Muslim. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, I just don't even want to wear a bikini more. I want to wear this. Even I see it come, just give you a story, relate to even my family. Like, we go to the beach, try to go to the beach at least once a year. And, my mother, everybody would just wear an abaya. All you would see is like, they look like a seal in the water. You know what I'm saying? Just the black and their base. It's hard for them to move. And they got like sweaters and stuff like that. I'm sitting there like, that's crazy. That's hard. Like
and they're hot.
It's hot. It's 100 degrees outside. They're in the water and legitly like got a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, man, there has to be an easy way. You know what I mean? There has to be just another way.
So they ain't supposed to enjoy the water. Like that's what the alternative is. Like the man, and I've seen it. The man will go to the beach with his kids. The kids are out there, and the mom is just sitting there, in the sun watching. It's like, yo, like that sucks. That sucks. So, and as Muslims, we should be able to adapt so that we can enjoy all of life's amenities without having to sacrifice our own moral standards and character. Now, no, you got it, Bo.
No, you say it now. Okay, I was just gonna jump back to the.
No, and that's why I let you go, because I wasn't.
Okay. Good. So jumping back to the situation, okay, and then I think there was a few points that Jabril and I had talked about earlier in regards to just judging, because everybody, that's what they were doing with the Mo Salah situation. They were judging like, man, he's not a good Muslim. Look what he's doing. One thing that I would agree is just
coming at his character, which it wasn't fair.
Not fair at all, because he is such a soft-spoken individual that has a great heart and is one of the. I was telling you earlier, him going into England, where it's heavily racist and don't like Muslims, and going on the field and praying. I told you, bro, like, yo, somebody could have came after him after the game, like, and could have just hurt them, but. He wasn't worried about that. He was worried about all the good that was coming after, and he was being himself. So,
he has little kids prostrating after they score goals, bro.
I saw that. I saw YouTube.
Bro, it's beautiful. And
scoring a goal, Salah, and just praying. They don't even know what they're doing.
And the thing is, their heart knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's most beautiful about it is that I'm a hardcore Liverpool supporter, so I read like the articles and stuff. And one of the articles that came out was this man was like, I love Muslims because of Mohamed Salah. And the whole city has become more accepting of Muslims because of Mohamed Salah. He has broken down these walls that a lot of people had up about Muslims, these preconceived notions of who Muslims are, what they do.
And that's character. You can judge that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can judge that.
You can judge that because you can quantify the impact that he's had on these people.
Yeah.
Right? And to go back, we were saying about Muslim women. We talk about these Muslim women and be like, oh my gosh, she took off her hijab, or she dresses different now, or whatever. Like the public doesn't agree with what she's doing, right? We look at one of these big YouTubers. She ended up removing her scarf, right? She removes her headscarf, and everybody goes crazy. And at the time, we were in that where we were like, oh man, like, why are you doing this? You need to make it. First off, I look at this as the same way as we look at like abortion and things. If we ain't carrying it, it ain't my problem. Like that's the problem between you and your Lord and your family. Like that's your decision to make, right? But we don't know how much good this sister did when she was wearing it or not wearing it, and how she impacted other sisters who were watching her stuff that maybe they were suicidal, and she was, talking about certain things that they came and watched because, oh, she dresses like me, but now she's addressing real concerns that I have. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't look at the deeper level of all of it. Yeah. We're so surface level with the pictures that we see, the images that we see, and we think we know these people, right? But at the same time, what is it that I mentioned in the Quran earlier? It was like, we're very surface level. Like we stay attached to the things in this world, but there's the hereafter, right? And let's take that and synthesize that down to what we have here, which is we look at the outside of people, but we never look deeper, right? We're so concerned with the things that we see now that we don't really understand people's character that's deeper, that you can only see once you spend the time actually getting to understand them.
I mean, that's what, our prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said the best of us are the ones with the best khalaq, like the best character, right? Those are the most outstanding, and Salah has an outstanding character. One thing is that, just to flip it on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I was about to say, we can't just big up my man, right?
Is the influence, that's all it's 100%, it's just the influence he has and the platform he has built. What kind of sucks is that, once you started doing this, I know he's just like, I'm just following my dreams. Now I turn to the superstar and now people are looking up to me, which is good. That's good. The issue is that some people take that to the extreme. Like, man, whatever he does, I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a platform that he has, and he has over 33 million people following him on Instagram. So the influence he has is way beyond our imagination, But if you don't have that self-restriction, that self-control to be like, just because he did that doesn't mean I have to, right? We have to judge the situation, right? I was telling Jabril about a story when Mo Salah first came into the league. He did an interview, I think when he first started, and the interviewer, was a female, and she went to go shake his hand, and he didn't shake her hand because that's what type of time he was on when he first came in, So that I was telling Jabril, I was like, man, what happened from then until now? Was it the pressure, of just being in the industry, or was it just like maybe he was just like, hey, I can't go around not shaking everybody's hands? You know what I mean? We don't know.
Everybody is different, right?
Everybody is different,
and everybody changes throughout time. Yeah. Like, for instance, like there's certain situations where, like, because of the way I grew up, you see a sister or you see someone that you hug them, and that's normal. Like, there was nothing sexual about it. It's just like how you greet people, right? For instance, like, I know in your community, y'all don't hug women at all. Like, y'all barely even hug your own mama. Like, it's and I'm being dead serious. Like, I've witnessed it. I sit here and I watch when I hang out with people in your community. Like, that y'all set such a barrier. But in our community, like, I was just with our family, man, we hug everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we embrace. And it's that difference, right? But when we talk about Mohamed Salah and this photo shoot, I don't want people to think like, oh, like you can just do whatever you want to do and there's no judgment. We should be held accountable by the Muslim community. However, it's how we come at people.
Yeah, the approach.
It's the approach. I think as a whole, we do a horrible job at being able to talk about something without demonizing a person and demonizing their character.
But not only that, we do a horrible job of taking that information and analyzing ourselves. You know what I mean? Because the whole point is when you see something, the first thing you should do, like, what does that mean to me? What do I take from that? One thing that we do with the Muslim community that I do not like is that when something like that happens, we go and we run and we look for other people's opinions. You know what I mean? Let me go see what this guy is saying. Let me go see what that person is saying. You know what I mean? Take the situation and be like, let me sit down and let me talk about it. I mean, these are conversations that we should all be having. I even had one of my friends like, man, the Mo Salah situation, that'd be something good to talk about with my youth girls. You know what I mean? Like, what did you guys think about that situation?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh my God, let me go on here and start blasting my man. Because that's what people were doing. And trust me, Mo Salah has probably done way more than all of us probably even combined. To be honest with you.
Look, and you talked about people having platforms, right? And I explained to Mo like this. If I post something on my social media, right, my personal account, and you guys are following me and y'all don't like it, unfollow me. It's as simple as that. Like,
I mean, I've done it.
We've done it. Yeah. And you guys can hit me like, brother, you shouldn't do this. I'm like, all right, thank you, I appreciate it. But I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're going to do what you want to do, because all you guys are going to do what you want to do. And just because we have a platform and we have notoriety on us, it's unfair for us as followers or patrons of these people's accounts to look at them and tell them that they have to do what we want them to do.
Yeah.
Right? Even though we all abide in the same religion, Islam has made it easy for us to remain who we are and still practice.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, we should tell Mo Salah, or we should voice our opinions on it, But to try and tell someone what they need to do or whatever is not really our place. Like, I wouldn't go up to a Muslim woman and say, you need to wear hijab.
You get smacked.
True. but even bigger than that, it's like, why do I feel this need that she has to wear it to make me feel good? You feel me?
'Cause that's exactly what it'd be. Oh, she put it on.
Yeah,
I did my job.
So the bigger problem, obviously we're looking at this photo shoot and we're saying, oh, like, I've seen two things. I've seen people saying, oh, this is an issue because of what he represents and he's putting this out. But then I also seen the side, and I was reading this great article by this sister. I don't have it in front of me. I wish I could quote it. She was basically saying there's a double standard. The bigger issue than the double standard is that we care too much about other people.
Yes.
And what they do.
Yep.
Like,
focus on yourself.
If a sister wants to take her hijab off, let her take it off. Talk to her. She's still a Muslim. She's still a person.
Just the conversation we had today. We talked about it,
Yeah.
We talked it out, then we came to the same conclusion,
Yeah.
But if I came at Jabril and he came at me and we left it off at that, then
nobody wins. Nobody wins.
Yep.
And the goal is we're all on the same team.
What was that quote Sister Wafat said yesterday in regards to the broken hearts?
Oh, so she was talking about how in Jamaica
This is the same situation.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
In Jamaica, they have a heavy population of Rastafarians, and they have a very old, not old as in age, but like very deep population of Muslims in Jamaica. They have a very rich history of Islam in Jamaica. And one of the imams was asked a question about Rastafarians who convert. Do Rastafarians have to cut their dreadlocks in order to convert? And he said, it's better that you break the rules than break the hearts of the people, because if you break the hearts, how can they love Allah?
Exactly.
And that's so big, because you see the church say, come as you are, and I think the reason why the church says that is because we would much rather you come into the church and then learn and embrace and you change by learning, than us saying demonize what you're doing and say that's wrong, don't do this, you can't, you have to fit all these standards first and then you can come in.
Yep.
And Islam has never been like that. Islam has always through the years been, look, come, learn.
Islam has always been for the poor. It's always been for the oppressed. It's always been for the people that's been in war, torn countries. That's what Islam has always been about. And like you said, Jabril, come as you are. The Muslim community thinks that you need to come to the masjid already perfect, already clean. Well, the purpose of the masjid is to help with those people that are broken.
Help you clean you up.
Yeah, it's to help clean you up.
And again, this goes back to what I was saying before. We look so much at the outer,
exactly,
but we don't look at the inners. I told you, and you guys who have been listening for a while, I've been to Jumu'ah where you get beside people who look raggedy, but they're paying so much attention, and it's like you feel it hitting them. And then you get beside people who are wearing their thobes with the beard, and dude was on the internet the whole time.
Yeah,
this dude,
and that's you can't even amount how bad that is compared to, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So I guess what we want to kind of leave you guys with is, it's okay to see something that you don't agree with, such as this Mohamed Salah situation, certain things that we see with the double standard. It's okay to voice your opinion. However, understand that all of us, regardless of the size of our social media, the size of our platform, we're regular people.
Yep.
I'm going to do stuff that's going to piss some of you guys off, and I'm going to let you guys know that now. Like, I'm not purposely doing it. It's me. I have a certain way that I was brought up.
You're still growing.
And I'm still growing.
Yeah.
We're in this cancel culture.
27 years old.
Bro, we're in this cancel culture, right?
Yeah.
Where if I do one thing,
you're out.
I'm out. Like, oh my God, look at, like, everything's a headline for people.
Yep.
And granted, I'm not speaking specifically on the Mohamed Salah situation. That's different. It's so big, it's so large. It's going to attract some attention. But even aside from that, we're in this culture where everybody is just looking for a reason to talk about someone else. They're looking for something to talk. They're looking for something to gossip about.
Gossip, yeah, and that backbiting will get back to you, and most of them gonna get all them blessings.
I don't think this is backbiting because it's so public.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Again, the conversations have to turn away from look at what he's doing, that's bad, and it has to turn to what good is coming out of it?
What can we take from the situation? What can we learn?
How can we use this to tell people, like, look, this is what he did. That's his personal decision. You got to do what's best for you and what you want to do and what's in accordance in your heart and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says.
Boom. Got it. So basically, to sum it up, no double standards, right? We gotta hold each other accountable.
Yep.
You can't turn a blind eye if you see something like that. You know, it's good to talk with your community about it and see what they think about it, right? And how we can move forward. And 3, like Jabril said, worry about yourself. Really, the people that we should really be looking up to and really want to be. Obviously, you can look up to most a lot, but like I said, he's human. The only person that was perfect ever was our prophet. Peace and blessings be upon him. He was a perfect man. Even he was the only perfect person. So when people are like, yeah, follow the Quran and follow the Sunnah, you know, that is good because you have different examples, and we have a code of life, the way we should live. Most Salah and everybody else is just something to just get you there. It's just like the podcast, you know. We don't want you guys to be like us. We want you guys to be yourself. You know what I mean?
Be you.
Be you. Be the best version of yourself, and have Islam the lifestyle that you live at the end of the day.
Understand this. This is something I just popped in my head. Yeah. Some women and the equivalent for guys, right? But it's easier to use women in this situation. Some women may never cover their hair up, and that's fine for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain men that look at what they want in a wife, and they say, you remember on Rami, she was like, do you want a woman that's covered or not covered? Yeah. And he was like, not covered. And his mom was very excited about it, right? Not because one's better than the other. It's like a preference. His mom didn't cover, so naturally that's what's going. Everybody's different, but it doesn't, just because, and we've seen this, we look at 2 women, one's covered, one isn't covered, and we say, oh, she's better.
We judge character like that.
Yeah, we judge their character based off of their outward appearance. Yep. So this isn't about hijab. This isn't about even so much the double standard. It's about how we need to look less on the material side, the worldly side, and we have to look deeper into the person's heart, their soul, and where they are in terms of helping out us as people, making the world a better place.
Absolutely. So what do we come out of that? What,
this is weird.
What's the next step,
bro? This is weird because if I feel like it would have been a better podcast if we didn't come to like a middle point first, and they would have heard us because the conversation we had before was very, very tense, and we were coming at it got emotional to a point where like you were way over here, I was way over here, and like you're right, like there was like that tension, like bro, like say something about my mama. It's over, right?
I mean, we can give him a quick, like, you know, just a quick 30,
I don't think I can't get that. I can't get there.
You can't get there.
I can't get there. I've been trying this whole episode. I can't. It's just like,
what did I say?
Yeah, like, you know, and you live in that moment, right? Like that's the past, right? But I feel like it would have made a better podcast for us to start here and then get here. But it also would have been like a 4-hour podcast.
Exactly. True.
One of the things that I did point out, and it was this morning, was how we have to be empathetic, right, and look at how someone grows up. So Mohamed and I, we obviously we know each other, but we grew up 2 different ways in terms of our cultures. So for me, for example, I have family members, if we all go to the beach, right, I have family members that wear bikinis. And for me, growing up, I don't look at them and be like, oh my God, like, first off, that's family, so that's nasty. Like, come on, bro. But second, like, even when I see other women in bikinis, it's like, it's not such a big deal to me, right? Because I'm like, I've seen this, like, it is what it is, keep doing my thing. You get cousins that come over from Egypt and they're like, yo, shorty, I know you ready to get married. What you mean?
Yeah, like, you can't, like, especially with family, like those are potential prospects. You know what I'm saying? That's not.
But that's how y'all doing. Y'all, oh my God, oh, yo, no, no,
not me. No,
we do not do that. We do not do that here.
We take that West Virginia type stuff.
So it's like, you
shout
know,
out Roanoke.
West Virginia. So there's a difference there. So like I can move, like I have my opinions because in my eyes, like I go to the beach, I take my shirt off and we hang out with, you know, we do things a certain way, right? Not saying it's right and one's better than the other. It's just different. And I have to understand where your opinion's coming from because I'm like, bro, like you grew up where you never seen an Egyptian woman dressed like that you know is Muslim and practices or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No. Even like my dad when I was younger, sometimes he would go into the water with his shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe because my mom like, yo, stop playing. But but that's the thing is that with this whole situation, everything's being influenced to your decision making, you know, whether it's culture, religion, the way you were brought up. We're not looking at it one dimensional, like, boom, okay, let me look at it from this perspective. You know what I mean? We're looking at it like, oh my God, all of our emotions are stirring up, and then we go ahead and give it a, you know, like a quote unquote logical reason, you know? But there's a lot of emotion behind this.
We're making it about us.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not about us.
It's about him.
Yeah.
It's like you mentioned in the beginning. I mentioned this yesterday. I was like, he had a hand in this process. He didn't just show up to the photo shoot and like, put this on. You're doing this. You're doing this. Do this. Do that. Yep. Like, that's a possibility. I've never been on one of those sets. Well, I have been on one of those sets. I haven't been on that set.
GQ, bro.
Right, bro. Come on now. Inshallah, that's the future. Y'all want to see us on GQ? Make sure you vote for podcast of the year for us.
North America.
Hey. We don't know what it was like behind the scenes. Maybe he was like, "No, I'm cool with it." That was his decision. Maybe he's like, "I'm cool with it,"
and his family was right there too.
Yeah. But the way we have to respect him as a person, we also have to respect the woman. And the reason I keep going back and forth is because that article was right. There is a double standard. Yep. And in order to beat that double standard, we have to understand that everybody is able to make their own decisions for themselves. You know what I'm saying? We aren't somebody's parent. Can we judge them? Yes, because as Muslims, we have to keep one another accountable.
Exactly.
Brother, come on now. Like, you tripping, bro.
But that's something you do want to, but you have a conversation like, you know, what's going on, brother? What you got going on? You know what I'm saying? I don't take, you know, bro's photo and plaster all over the wall like, this right here is a non-Muslim. This is what you don't do.
This is not practicing.
Exactly.
This is not it. So, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Sheesh. This hasn't be a short one.
Yeah, we got a lot off our chest, man.
Yeah, we got a lot off our chest. The good thing is that, you know, just make dua from Mohamed Salah to get, because we don't know what
this is all doing to him.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. Some of y'all don't really take into account what your comments are doing to other people.
Because they say they let it go and you guys live on with your lives. You know what I mean? You guys go to sleep, go deal. Mohamed Salah has to deal with all this now. Yeah. You feel me?
Now, people can say, well, you deserve it because of, but even for us, even for people that we know, like, just because you don't agree, like, we've had people that come at us because they don't agree with things we said. Like, bro, end of the day, you can do you. You don't have to listen to this. You don't have to follow us. You don't have to do any of that. If you don't agree, and this isn't to say if you don't agree with everything we say, hop off. No, but it's like, if you have such an intolerance to what we do or say, you know, come at it in a respectable way.
Exactly.
You feel me?
The approach.
Yeah. Like, there's people that we follow that I don't agree with, but I stay open-minded because I'm like, maybe there's something bigger that they're that they have to say and that they're getting at, and a lot of times it is. It's a lot bigger than what we see on the surface level. So I'm tapped out.
Yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on social media because our Instagram live is still up with Wafat yesterday. Ooh. The founder of Burgundy Roots. We had such a phenomenal show. She talked about her retreats, Muslim-friendly retreats out in Jamaica, which she said it's a superb experience. Less excursions and more experiences, you know. So that's exactly
good for the soul.
It is great for the soul. So make sure you check her out at Burgundy Roots.
Let's do a quick shout out because I'm feeling it. Like, yo, this coffee, if y'all just watched what I did, the coffee just hit my bloodstream.
Shout out.
Shout out to all of our hijabi models. Shout out to our non-hijabi models. Shout out to our longtime listeners. Shout out to the people who just got on. Shout out to the men in our groups. Shout out to the women in our groups. Yep. Shout out to our friends who are far. Shout out to our friends who are close. Boom. Shout out to the parents. Hey. Shout out to the people who ain't your parents.
What up?
But they act as your mama and your uncles.
Ooh.
All right? Shout out to all the people that support us. Shout out to the haters because we know you out there and you motivating us. Shout out to all the people that are silently listening. Shout out to the people who are on our YouTube. Shout out to the iTunes listeners. Shout out to the people who listen on all the other platforms. Shout out to the SoundCloud listeners. You guys rock. Shout out to our Facebook followers. Shout out to our IG followers. Shout out to the people that actually leave comments and don't just sit there and watch all the time.
Shout out to Sean King for all the great work he does.
Shout out to my man.
You know, I was thinking about him this morning, bro. Shout out, bro.
Shout out to all the people who are speaking against injustices.
Yeah, shout out to Dallas, man, for everything they're going through, bro. Just stay strong out there.
Yeah, and more importantly, shout out to the people who are trying to get over the racial ties and they're really trying to stand up for what's right and what's wrong. Shout out to the people who are standing up for my people here in America, who are seeing us getting killed every single day and they're like, yo, this is ludicrous. Something has to be done.
Shout out to England for standing up for Bulgaria and saying no to racism.
Standing against that stuff, bro.
Yeah.
And getting the dub out of it. Shout out to the staff, the players. Shout out to the country, because I think everybody stood up against it.
Right.
Yeah, I saw a lot of celebration for the team and people.
Shout out to Maine. Shout out to Richmond for switching Columbus Day to Indigenous Day. I know a lot of other states did that, so that is huge. Shout out. That's big. In the U.S., that is something that's really big.
Yeah, that's
Columbus
very big here.
Ain't do shit. He made things worse.
As I say, fuck Christopher Columbus. I know I'm gonna get some heat for that, but I think he deserves that one. Stop the law. Anyways, thank you guys. We appreciate you. As always, shoot us a DM if you guys got questions about this. I know this is a topic that maybe certain people don't agree with, or like y'all just want to have the conversation.
Let's have a conversation about it.
But listen, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to open it up about. We want you guys to comment. We want you guys to engage with us about, especially what's going on with Mohamed Salah. So if you feel the need, comment below, hit us up, and let's open up the discussion, baby.
Yes, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to shoot us that DM, it's Young and Muslim. That's YOUNG, the letter N. Muslim. Also, we got a TikTok, same thing, Young and Muslim. We're going to start being a little active on there. And to listen to this episode or to share with somebody, you can find us on all the pods, such as Google Play, Castbox, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube, the Young and Muslim Podcast.
All right, so for the last 36 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm As-Salaam.
And Mohamed Hassan.
And we greet you with the greens of peace.
As-Salaam.
Alaikum.
Goodbye, y'all. Peace.